Have you ever wondered how one man could unite a scattered people and build the largest contiguous land empire in history? It's a story of brutal hardship, visionary leadership, and a whirlwind of conquest that forever changed the world. This is the story of Genghis Khan and the Mongol Storm. Our journey begins not in a lavish palace, but on the harsh, windswept steppes of 12th century Mongolia. Here, a boy named Temujin was born into a world of constant tribal warfare. Life was cheap, and survival was a daily struggle. His own father was poisoned by rivals, and his family was cast out, left to fend for themselves in the unforgiving wilderness. These early years of poverty and betrayal didn't break him, they forged him. Temujin learned to hunt, to fight, and most importantly, to lead. He learned that trust was a rare commodity and that loyalty, once earned, was the most valuable treasure. Through sheer force of will and strategic genius, Temujin began to build alliances. He possessed an uncanny ability to judge character, rewarding loyalty with unwavering support and punishing betrayal with ruthless efficiency. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a nation builder. He united the fragmented, warring Mongol tribes under a single banner, something no one had ever accomplished. In 1206, at a grand assembly known as a Kurultai, the tribal leaders bestowed upon him the title he is known by today, Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The Mongol nation was born. But uniting the tribes was just the beginning. Genghis Khan looked beyond the steppes. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a revolutionary. He reorganized his society, breaking down old tribal loyalties and restructuring his army based on merit, not birthright. This created a disciplined, unified, and incredibly mobile fighting force, unlike anything the world had ever seen. The core of his power was the Mongol horse archer. These warriors were masters of their craft, able to ride for days, sleep in the saddle, and shower their enemies with arrows with deadly accuracy, all while on the move. They were the ultimate shock troops of their time. The Mongol Storm was about to be unleashed. Their first major target was the powerful Jin dynasty in northern China. The Mongols faced walled cities, something they had little experience with, but they were quick learners. They adopted new siege technologies from conquered engineers and turned their enemies' strengths against them. They used psychological warfare, spreading tales of their ferocity to make cities surrender without a fight. They were masters of feigned retreats, luring overconfident armies into devastating ambushes. The world had never seen an army that moved so fast and struck so hard. From China, the storm rolled west. The Khwarezmian Empire, a vast and wealthy sultanate in Central Asia, made a fatal mistake. They provoked the Khan by mistreating and executing his envoys. For Genghis Khan, this was an unforgivable insult. The retaliation was swift and total. Cities like Samarkand and Bukhara, once jewels of the Islamic world, were razed to the ground. The Mongol invasion of Khwarezmia was not just a conquest. It was a lesson in terror, a message to the world. Do not defy the Khan. The scale of the destruction was immense, and the campaign cemented the Mongols' reputation for unstoppable, brutal efficiency. Yet, to see Genghis Khan as only a destroyer is to miss half the story. He was a complex figure, a visionary administrator as much as a conqueror. Within his growing empire, he implemented policies that were centuries ahead of their time. He established a written language for the Mongols and a legal code known as the Yasa. This code forbade theft, adultery, and betrayal, creating a surprising level of order and safety across his vast domain. Perhaps his most significant and often overlooked legacy was the creation of the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol peace. By securing the ancient Silk Road, Genghis Khan and his successors created a continent-spanning zone of stability. For the first time in centuries, merchants, missionaries, and explorers could travel from Europe to China in relative safety. This reopened a vital channel of trade and communication. Gunpowder, the compass, and printing technology flowed from east to west, while ideas, art, and culture traveled in both directions. Marco Polo's famous journey would have been impossible without the peace the Mongols enforced. The Mongol Empire became the world's great connector. Genghis Khan's death in 1227 did not end the Mongol expansion. The storm he had unleashed had a momentum all its own. His sons and grandsons, like Gagedai, Kublai, and Hulagu, continued his work, pushing the empire's borders even further. At its height, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the doorstep of Europe. From Siberia down to the Persian Gulf, it encompassed diverse cultures, religions, and peoples, all governed under a single, unified system. They reached Poland and Hungary in the west, and Kublai Khan eventually conquered the rest of China, establishing the Yuan dynasty. The Mongol Empire was destined to fragment. As all great empires are, internal strife and the sheer difficulty of governing such a vast territory eventually led to its decline. But its impact is undeniable. The Mongols didn't just conquer territory, they redrew the map of the world and reshaped the course of history. They toppled old dynasties and created the foundations for new nations, including modern-day Russia and China. The story of Genghis Khan is a powerful reminder that history is often forged in the harshest of crucibles. From an outcast boy on the barren steppes rose a leader who united a people, built an empire, and connected the world in ways never before imagined. His legacy is a complex tapestry of brutal conquest and enlightened governance, of destruction and creation. He was, without a doubt, one of the most influential figures to have ever lived, the architect of a storm that swept across the world and left it forever changed. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through history. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the events and people who shaped our world. Let me know in the comments what historical topic you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.